All right, traders, I'm currently here in Manhattan, and I wanted to let you guys know that I believe I found the next stock that is about to crash. The last time I posted a video like this was on K-Stock, Kellogg's. I had stated the stock was going to crash when it was trading in the 73s. It dropped all the way to the mid 60s and the put options exploded very, very quickly. With that being said, I believe I found the next one. It is going to be on Ulta, ULTA stock. I'm going to share with you my entire trading plan on how I'm planning to absolutely print money day trading this stock. There will be a swing trading opportunity as well, but it's too early to consider swing trading as we haven't got the confirmation. But in terms of day trading, I'm going to give you the full bulletproof day trading plan. And I'm also about to go live within Trader Society to trade live on stream. Also, check out the previous video that I recently posted. It was live trading footage that we pulled directly from the live trading stream. Be sure to check that out and let me know if you guys want more live trading footage as well. All right, so the ticker symbol is going to be ULTA. And the strategy is going to be a gap close reversal to fill the gap below. So let me show you some examples in terms of what it is that I'm talking about. If we study the chart history of ULTA stock, you can see right here it has a massive gap down. There's now a gap to fill at 406.35. Once it starts to fill the gap, it chops around, it spikes a little bit higher, but overall you can see when it fills this gap right here, it has a reversal. And it comes crashing back down. It comes crashing back down. And that gap fill level turns into a key resistance level. Yes, it did go slightly above the level multiple times. But in terms of overall price direction, and in terms of especially for swing trading, and if you were also to day trade at this key level when it did react as a strong resistance level, the vast majority of the profits was in shorting. It was in buying the put options. And here's another prime example of exactly what it is that I'm talking about. There was a gap to fill right here at $418.74. Right here, it fills the gap. It's got a little bit more upside, but overall price direction, it has a reversal once it fills that gap, and it comes crashing back down to key support, right? Here's another example. There was a gap to fill here, it nearly fills the gap, then it has a reversal, right? So if you just study the prime history of this stock, and this is what I wanted to bring awareness to, the 52-week lows are at $319. This was just at the $330 range. So this is what we call an overreaction. It had a very hard sell-off, and now it's rebounding and spiking crazy. Now, with that being said, you could see there was a gap to fill right here towards 392. It never got the opportunity to have a reversal at that area because it had a massive gap up the day after it gapped up right here. And you can see we have a couple gaps to fill. There's a gap to fill right here towards $393. There's a gap to fill right here towards $408. And then in terms of the highest gap to fill above, you could see it had a nice gap close reversal right here. Once it filled this gap and nearly filled that gap, it had a reversal and sold off hard very, very quickly, right? The highest gap to fill above towards the all-time highs is at 421.43. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a trend line. We're going to draw a trend line at this key level, right? So what do we know about ULTA stock? We know it's having an overreaction, right? It's extremely overbought for the micro, for the short-term price action, right? This was literally just trading nearly 52-week lows, and we know it has a strong history of forming resistance above low 400s. We also know it has a strong foundational history of having gap close reversals. When it fills this gap right here, the overall trend direction was down. When it fills this gap right here, the overall trend direction was down. When it filled this gap right here, and nearly right here it almost filled, now it is filled, but right here it almost filled, but it filled one here as well, the overall trend direction was down, right? So in terms of history and in terms of profitabilities, this is what the best setup looks like. It's called a gap close reversal to fill the gap below, right? So there's a gap to fill above right here. It is now filled. All we have to do is wait for 421.43 to react as a resistance level, to show signs of weakness, to form some bearish candlesticks, to see a negative bearish reaction of the stock struggling. And then we start to play for the gaps to fill below. There's a gap to fill below all the way down here at $378. There's a gap to fill below all the way down here at $353. Midterm, these gaps will fill within time. So I'm interested in day trading this, and I am also interested in swing trading this. Now, in terms of swing trading, from my understanding trading for the most part is it doesn't just tank right away. It takes some time. Some time. And the chart history will tell you that. It doesn't just tank right away. It typically consolidates. It typically chops around. It typically spikes a little bit higher within a few days. And then once we see some bearish reactions, some bearish candlesticks, then we could pull the trigger on a swing trading put opportunity, right? So in terms of swing trading, I do believe at the price, it's a good entry. It's just we haven't gotten a solid foundation, a solid, a solid confirmation, right? So in terms of the stock, what am I looking for swing trading? I'm looking for consolidation towards resistance, consolidation towards highs, lower highs, bearish candles, something like this. See how it double tops right here? This is a great example. It double tops right here towards that gap fill level, right? So it fills the gap right here. It double tops, tries to crack support, forms a lower high, tries to crack again, just like K's chart, and then it starts to sell off hard, right? Once we can see some consolidation towards the highs, some chop, some bearish candlesticks, some lower highs on the daily chart, that's going to take days, possibly even 1 to 2 weeks plus, then I will consider swing trading some midterm puts. So in terms of now, so that's going to be on my radar for midterm puts. I'm waiting for the bearish confirmations. So in terms of right now, the opportunity is going to be day trading right now. The market isn't looking that strong right now. ULTA is barely down. It closed at 425.08. Right now it's at 424.01 in the pre-market. The disadvantage to these contracts is the spread is a little bit wide, but it does move. This stock moves. It's a stock that can move, right? I mean, just look at what it did in terms of Friday. It went from 410 to 420, back to 410, almost to 430, right? It can move, right? So just understand the disadvantage is the spreads are a little wide. So when the spreads are wide, and if you're gonna trade it, you're gonna pay a little bit more of a premium and you're gonna be automatically down. So make sure that you submit your order towards the middle, right? Don't hit the ask on a wide spread. Submit your order towards the upper side of the middle. So for example, the 420 strike, this is the one that I'm interested in. The bid is 540, the ask is 730. So you want to submit your order in between the middle of that strike. You can do like slightly above the last price. See the last price of where the contract traded at. You can do basically at the last price or slightly above towards the upper middle when buying and lower middle when selling, right? So with that being said, in terms of the options, right, the put options, with that being said, this is what I want you to be aware of, right? This is what I want you to be aware of. Your key resistance is going to be at 423. 423 to 430 is going to be your key resistance. The main level that I want you to focus on in terms of resistance today is going to be 425.08. We need to see that green to red move. We need to see that previous closing price, 425.08, reacting as a resistance level. We need to see it struggling and break down. So in terms of what's the key breakdown level for this to like fall off a cliff today, I'll tell you. It's going to be $423. If $423 can crack and turn into resistance, the puts are going to print, and we're looking at a target to 410. And if 410 were to crack, the next target's $400 in terms of day trading opportunities, right? I'd be locking some in at that 410 level. So once you see this stock react negatively at 425.08, that's the resistance level. And then also the key breakdown, 423. If 423 cracks and reacts as a resistance, the puts are going to print, and we're looking at a nice little move to 410 to 411, right? And there's multiple gaps to fill below. There's a gap to fill below right here at 378. There's another gap to fill below at 353, right? The market's due for a slightly little micro pullback, and it's nice to find something that's trading towards all-time highs that had an overreaction with the highest gap to fill above. So in terms of the best setup, this is what it looks like. I'm showing you. This is what the best setup looks like. This is the exact same pattern as K-stock. This is the exact same pattern as K-stock. You guys remember K-stock. It was at that major key resistance, and it filled the highest gap that was waiting to fill above towards the all-time highs. There was a gap to fill at 74.70 towards all-time highs, and it was proven key resistance, just like ULTA. And once it filled that gap and formed those bearish candlesticks, those bearish reactions, formed those lower highs, it had a gap close reversal and sold off very hard. So there's going to be day trading opportunities, and there's going to be swing trading opportunities for ULTA. Be prepared to trade the best setups at the best prices. Now, I'm going to do a quick update on SPY. So in terms of the SPY, we are at a key make it or break it level. This is what I want to bring awareness to in terms of the SPY. So in terms of the micro, these are going to be your key levels right here. This $416, 416 to 415.26. If that can't break out and if that can't turn into support early into this week, SPY's selling off. Where's it going to sell off to? Overall trend direction, this is heading back to 410 to fill the gap potentially at 405.31. That's overall trend direction. So if the SPY continues to react as a resistance level in between the zone of 415 to 416, it is micro bearish, on track for a gap fill play within time to 405.31 for a little micro pullback to 410. Now, if the SPY can break out and turn this 415 to 416 into solid support and start to break out and start to uptrend, we will be on track for a gap fill play. A gap fill play to 429 later into this week, which will be the best price to buy micro put options on the SPY. You can see right here, there's a gap to fill in SPY. It fills the gap, it has a reversal. There's a gap to fill in SPY. It fills the gap, it has a reversal, right? So $429.06 is going to be one of the best levels to play for the gap close reversal put options on the SPY if it reacts as that 415 to 416 resistance. So just know, if you have micro put options on the SPY, 416 should be the absolute most you risk, around 416. If it breaks above 416 and turns that into support, this week it's going to rocket to 429. Now, we did hit that key support, right? So this is what I want you to be aware of. In terms of the SPY, it's been macro bearish. Your key support was right here, this nice double bottom at 416s, right? It cracked 416s. It sold off all the way to 381. So now it's ripping back up to previous support on the daily, like stocks like to do, especially the strong ones that aren't going anywhere, right? They have a strong foundational history of new all-time highs within time. So in terms of the SPY, this is make it or break it for the micro. The bears need to turn that previous support that they cracked into a resistance level now that it's bounced back up. This is completely normal. So if we see a strong negative reaction towards this level, this means the bears are very, very strongly in control for the micro and also for the macro still. If not, then 430, 429.06 will be the next level of interest in terms of the micro put options. So with that being said, that is going to wrap up this video lesson. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm about to go live with my team in Trader Society. If you want to join us, all the information is going to be in that first link down below in the description. You could trade live with me every single day at market open. You get the daily watch list, you get the stock analysis, you get the real-time trade alerts, you get the chat room access, the community access, ask us friend on Discord, ask us questions, ask me questions live on spot during the live stream. You also get access to the video lesson library where you learn all of the unique price action gap trading strategies that I've created, mindset, psychology, risk management, and position size to trading. There's so much more. If you want to check it out and be a part of Trader Society, it is the first link down below. As soon as you join, you get instant lifetime access to the program. I will see you guys within the next video later today.